JD Vance interviewed with Laura Ingraham last night, and there was so much that we could have shared. I just picked a few clips to share. It was very hard to pick because there were so many good ones. But he did talk about the state of the Democrat Party, and I just love that his basic advice to them is just stop being psychotic. My words, not his. Although I'm not far
I mean,
off,
it's
because here's
good
what he
paraphrase.
said.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the autopsy for the Democrats, some free political advice from the President of the United States is
Don't help them too much.
Stop sounding like crazy people.
Right.
That really is all it is. I mean, this idea that
advice.
Gavin Newsom is somehow going to mimic Donald Trump's style, I think that ignores the fundamental genius of President Trump's political success, which is that he's authentic. He just is who he is. You've got to be yourself. You've actually got to talk to people honestly about the issues. I don't think it's that complicated. Don't be a crazy person. Be authentic. If the Democrats did that, they'd do a hell of a lot better. But the thing is, the Democrats really can't help themselves. If you look at the transgender issue, they're still talking about letting men play in women's sports. If you look at the crime issue, they're calling Donald Trump a fascist for taking action that in 9 days has dropped armed robberies by 55%. Part of sounding less crazy is being less crazy.
Right.
And if the Democrats were less crazy, I think we'd all get along a whole lot better.
Exactly. It's hard to stop sounding crazy when you are in fact
crazy.
that shit. It's hard. That's the problem. Therein lies the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't help themselves because they are crazy.
They're nuts, and all of the people that they defend are nuts. And
crazy.
so
Yeah.
it's just, they're in a crazy loop, man. I don't know how they're going to crawl out of it, but I'm happy with it. Like, just stay looped in to that loop. So he also, because we mentioned, I can't remember if it was yesterday or earlier this week, but there was this rumor that Elon shot down, that maybe Elon was going to support Vance and forget this idea of a third party. Here is JD Vance talking about that.
I saw the story, and as far as I can tell, the story is completely fake. I've never talked with Elon Musk or, frankly, any other donor about 2028. I do think that it would be a huge mistake for Elon to go forward with a third party. And my argument to him is, whether you like it or not, you are now perceived by the far left as on the side of the American right. You believe in law and order. You believe in closed borders. You believe in economic growth and prosperity. You believe in making things in the United States of America. The idea that Elon is ever going to go back to being sort of in the middle, where Democrats and Republicans both like him, that's just not going to happen. He is perceived as being on the American right. And so if he doesn't like things the Republican Party is doing, my advice to Elon would be, try to fix the Republican Party. Try to push it in your own way. Disagree with me all you want. Disagree with the President of the United States, but don't pretend that you can make a big difference with a third party. I think Elon would make a much bigger difference if he stayed loyal to President Trump's Republican Party. And if he had disagreements, express those disagreements from the inside as opposed to from the outside.
Which is great advice.
Great advice. Mm-hmm.
It's really, really good advice.
Mm-hmm.
He also talked in this interview about obviously the meeting that took place between various European world leaders and Trump and Zelensky and then Putin, all of it. And I don't know the question leading up to this specific answer, but it obviously had something to do with what is America's role going to be? People are obviously concerned about boots on the ground, even though we've received assurances that there won't be American boots on the ground. And he addressed that indirectly, talking about the fact that Europe needs to have most of the skin in this game.
Should carry the burden here. I think that we should be helpful if it's necessary to stop the war and to stop the killing. But I think that we should expect, and the president certainly expects, Europe to play the leading role here. And what he said very clearly is, look, the United States is open to having the conversation, but we're not going to make commitments until we figure out what's going to be necessary to stop the war in the first place. And I think that it's, the president is very good. He never takes anything off the table. He never puts anything fully on the table because he doesn't want to give away his leverage. And this is the private conversation that we're all going to have about what's necessary to stop the war. But no matter what happens, no matter what form this takes, the Europeans are going to have to take the lion's share of the burden. It's their continent, it's their security, and the president's been very clear they're going to have to step up here.
Mm-hmm.
He's solid.
Yeah, he is solid. Somebody said that he's a one-term senator. Wasn't Obama too?
Yeah, I feel like he enjoyed a pretty good presidential run.
Yeah, and 2 terms. So there's that.
He and Pete Hegseth and Stephen Miller went to Union Station, greeted and had lunch with some troops the other day, and there were groups of protesters there that were screaming at them about how fascist they are. And I loved that their response was simply to point, laugh, and mock them. Here is just a little bit of that.
This is the guy who thinks people don't deserve law and order in their own community.
What an idiot. He's booing that. He's going to go out.
So great.
He's going to go outside and get mugged.
I just love that was like, hey, look at that idiot.
It's so
You know what
true.
I mean?
He
great.
is an idiot. He's like, boo. I hate no crime.
I hate safety. I hate being safe.
Feeling safe in my community. And I hate peace. Okay, you're an idiot.
Yep, and he got called out as such, which was perfect.
You guys, you know what you should run with? Is wine.
Wine.
Well, okay, maybe not run with it. You can sit with it and drink it. Republican red wine is really good. You can get the latest wine release from them. Use code CHICKS at republicanred.com. Save $5. Plus, check out the Wine Club for even more wine perks.
Who doesn't love a wine perk? I ask you.
Who doesn't? We don't want to know you. Okay, maybe we do. But I mean, check out the wine perks. Do it.